All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Christianity and the JQ in the sense of a kind of like, I guess you can say philosophical debate. But I just wanted to say beforehand that like, obviously I don't have any problem with Christian people. Like many of my family members are Christian. I don't hate Christian people. And in fact, like the reason why I haven't been doing any debates or attacking Christianity outright, is because of the fact that specifically, I would say, the Orthodox Christian and Catholics, I definitely see a need to preserve those patriarchal organizations in the West, which are some of the few, especially like the Orthodox Church, they're not allowing female preachers and stuff like that. And also, I recognize that their right to not, marry homosexual people. I'm not saying that homosexual people shouldn't get married anywhere else, but not in their church. I think they have the right to say that, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely recognize the sanctity of, religious institutions. Like, for example, I definitely believe that desecration is a different crime than vandalism. Like, for example, like if somebody were to like knock down a nativity scene in front of a church on Christmas Eve, like that's not just vandalism, that's, desecration of somebody's religious iconography. And that's like a more severe crime, I would say. Or if somebody walks into a church and attacks a priest, they should get the maximum, penalty. So, I'm not against Christians existing. And in fact, that's part of the problem with this discussion is the fact that, you know, it's a similar problem that Muslims have. Christians have the same problem because Muslims can't really disprove that Christianity is true because part of their religion is based off of Christianity being true, right? Like like Jesus has to exist even in the Islamic book in the Quran in order for their book to be true. And it's the same thing that it's the same problem that Christians have with Israel. They have to affirm that Israel belongs to the Jewish people in order for Christianity to be true. So this is like basically addressing like Adam Green's arguments, and I think that he's 100% correct on this, that Christians can never actually address the problem in the Middle East because of the fact that doing so would disprove their own religion. And so they, like he says, they'll, say, oh, it's the Schofield Bible or it's this person or that person. But no, it is the root core of Christianity. Even it runs through Protestantism, Catholicism, and Orthodoxy. That in order for the Bible to be true, it must necessarily be true that Israel belongs to Jewish people, right? And here's the problem. That if I can do one search on the internet and disprove the Bible completely, like you guys have a big problem with doing religious wars and claiming that we have to kill the Muslims because of their religion. Pete Hegseth has a big problem if he's doing prayers and then dropping bombs on children because that's satanic. If you pray to your God and then drop bombs on children, that's satanic. Right? And we can clearly see here that there's no historical evidence that Israelites were ever enslaved in Egypt, which completely discredits the entire Bible. Because if Exodus didn't happen, then all the other stuff didn't happen, and that didn't happen, and this didn't happen, and therefore the Jews never actually owned Israel in the first place. But you can't admit that because that disproves that Jesus was real and that you can claim that, oh, it's a Christian nation and we get to do whatever we want because we're Christians. No, you don't. If I can look this up online, this quickly, just type what evidence is there that Jewish people were actually slaves in Egypt, and there is none. None. Zero. Look, this is the best they got. This is the best they got. Some guy saying that he found a papyrus. One papyrus in Egypt saying that there might have been some Semitic people there. That's their, this is like the bet. All the other things are like, no, 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 no. Even Reform Judaism is saying no. No, no evidence, no evidence. Only place that's saying, yeah, there is evidence is a Harvard divinity, a Harvard, like basically religious organization. It's not like Harvard. It's Harvard religious organization. Right. So it's like you can't come at me like and try to like be like, oh well, it's this and that. No, it's fake. I'm sorry, it's literally fake. It's a 2,000-year-old fairy tale, and now you're claiming that you have divinity and control over everybody else on the planet. No, no, straight up no. If I can look this up online like this, and there's no, like, what are you guys even debating? Like no offense, but like I see like Gnostic Informant debating people like, I mean, the dude's a monster. Like he's got like, what has he got? Like 10 terabytes of like memory. Like it's insane. Like he remembers all this stuff. He learned like a bunch of different languages and stuff. It doesn't even matter. Like, come on, man. If I can do this, like, and he's got all that, and it's still not, like, it's ridiculous. It's just a fake thing that you guys made up, and now you're like propagating wars based on this stuff. And it's like, you got to admit it. You can't keep telling people, oh, I'm in principle, I'm against the war. In principle. No, you're not in principle against the war, because it's part of your like religious belief system, your fake religious belief system that you keep propagating. Like that's why it will never end. The war's not going to end if you believe that we're still in like, if that we're like living in a fantasy world like Lord of the Rings, and that your enemy is like whatever his name is. Yeah, you're going to keep fighting them forever. And then you're going to make up excuses and make up oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, and it's like they're not doing any of that stuff in Iran. They're not doing any of that stuff. They're basically just like us, like a westernized country. They're advanced, they got technology, high IQ people, they got universities, they let the women walk around and do whatever they want. For the most, I'm sure there's regions, but there's regions in America where people are like not the coolest with women. So it's like, for you to sit here and just act like, oh yeah, we got it all figured out, we just let Christians run. No. It's like, I'm not letting you run the country if you believe in the freaking tooth fairy. No. We tried it, and look what happened. We let you guys go. We said, all right, well, let Christians do it. Let Christians run it. And what happened? The Jews end up running it. Why? Because of the same reason that the Muslims are wrong. The same reason that the Muslims are wrong is the same reason why the Christians are wrong. Because if the Muslims cannot exist without Jesus existing, the Christians cannot exist without like David and Exodus and all that stuff. And it's fake, and you're doing a war, over fake Harry Potter stuff. And everybody can see it. Everybody can see it. It's like you guys, and you want to call everybody else insane. Right? Oh, this guy's crazy, and that guy's crazy doing this and doing that, and these people are this, and these people are that. And it's like, no, you guys are. Like, we can see it. It's like, it's just like black people. Like, we can see what you're doing. Now, everybody can see. You guys are literally praying to your God and then blowing up children. And then you want to convince us that because some Hollywood guy was doing the casting couch that he's the real Satanist. Yeah, exactly. Like, you really think you can just pull that on everybody and just keep like making everybody afraid of Satan and afraid of like pedophiles around every corner, and then there's and this and that. It's not, none of it's happening. It's all fake. Just like your religion, it's all fake. And look, you could come at me, but like if you want to do a war based off of the tooth fairy, it's ridiculous. And that's what we're doing now. And that's why you can talk all day about what's going on in Iran, about this detail and that detail, about who's bombing who today and what type of bombs they're using and this and that, but you'll never get to the point that you must affirm that the Jews own Israel in order for your religion to be true. And that's what Adam Green is saying. He's not saying get rid of Christians. He's just saying you guys keep pretending like there's some other reason that the wars keep going on other than the fact that you believe that Jewish people must own Israel. Because to do otherwise would be to invalidate your own religion. And now we all have to sit around and watch you do Satanism in front of the world in our name and act like we're the immoral people, we're the bad people, we're the ones doing something wrong, we're the Satanists, we're the ones, we're doing this, no, you're doing it. You're the ones. Look, it's already come out. It makes logical sense. All of the wars that have been taking place in the Middle East for the past 30 to 40 years were because of Israel. Why is Israel there? Because Christians believe that Jews must own Israel in order to affirm their own religion. It's not because of the Schofield Bible. It's not because Protestants are doing sola scriptura. No, all of you believe it. It's the most basic fundamental principle of your religion. If Exodus didn't happen, then none of the other stuff happened. And then the New Testament didn't happen. So you must affirm that Jews must own Israel. And it's fake. They weren't even, the whole thing was fake. And I can look it up online in 2 seconds. In 2 seconds. Reformed Judaism. These are Jewish people saying this. No, and the only people saying that, they were there was someone that found a papyrus that maybe one papyrus that maybe might allude to the fact that there was some Semitic language group type people there. Didn't say Hebrews. Didn't say Jews or the tribe of Judah, none of that. No, just people that were speaking that type of language. So it's like, look, I'm not out to get you. You all seem out to get us. Like every time somebody says something like, hey, can we stop the war now? What are you, a pussy? Oh, you don't want to go to war with every country on earth? No, I don't. And if that's stupid or retarded or I'm saying something wrong, get out of here, yo. Everybody, that's what everybody's doing. They're talking out of both sides of their mouth. Oh, I'm anti-war, America first. But then we got to go to war with this country and that country and this country. Oh, America first, save our troops. But send them over there. Our boys are the best. And look, I don't got a problem with troops meeting on an actual battlefield. I was fine with Carg Island. It's an island. It's in the middle of nowhere. If two, armies want to meet and fight in an actual battlefield where there's not a bunch of civilians getting killed, that's cool with me. Because, people want to get that type of life experience, or they actually feel like it's necessary when it's completely not necessary. I'm sorry, it's not necessary. These wars are not necessary. And then that's fine. It's just, my thing is just when you start doing the urban warfare and taking over their whole place and killing a bunch of civilians and stuff, children and all that stuff. I'm not with that, especially when you realize that it's based off of the fucking Tooth Fairy. I'm sorry. Come at me. Prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Jewish people were actually in fucking Egypt, and you can't. Because I got the same internet that you got. Yeah, well, I know archaeological evidence of Passover by Jewish people. Chabad.org. Right? fake. It's fake. Straight up fake news. So you guys just stop it. Stop it. Seriously. I don't have a problem with your churches. In fact, I respect your churches. Like I said in the beginning of the video, patriarchy, must be preserved. And, I respect the traditional Catholics too. Like, I know people say, oh, that's not theologically correct, but it's like, what's more patriarchal than taking on the religion of your forefather? I agree. If your parents were Catholic and you're traditional Catholic, go for it. You don't want to marry gay people, I'm right there with you. You don't want women priests, 100% got your back. But when you want to do a war based off of the tooth fairy, we're not doing that anymore. We're just not. It's like, it's retarded. Like, no one wants this. No one wants this, even the people that are saying that, but you can't admit that that part of the Bible is wrong. The part that they're using to claim that they get to stay over there. And look, I'm not saying now that they need to leave now. But what I'm saying is you can't even admit to yourself that you're wrong because this is wrong. It's fake. It's wrong. And that's how they got you. That's how they got you. Because you can't admit that they cannot own, they're not allowed to own it. Because it was all fake. It was all fake and made up. And that's the only way that you could explain that. That's why they can't do that, is because you have to say that it was fake. And as a Christian, you can't say that. And that's what Adam Green's basically saying. I mean, he's saying it in a much more detailed and nuanced way, and he has tons of citation and backup and all this other stuff. He's doing a lot of hard work over there. He's getting like crapped on. He wants to like help everybody out too, right? He's trying to just make sure that everybody in America is good. That's what I get from him, and he's just like, look, we can't do this like fairy tale stuff. I agree. I agree. So let's get into the network and this Q-score stuff. The network really explains like how important your Q-score is. Like we can see, the Q-score is a measurement of the familiarity and appeal of a brand, celebrity, company, or entertainment product used in the United States. Right? The more highly regarded the item or person is, the higher the Q-score. Right? Then there's actually a website here called qscores.com. You can actually have your own Q-score tested. So I guess you send them in photos or video or something like that, and then they tell you how high your Q-score is. All right. So everyone's seen the network, probably the clips from where the guy is talking about, you've messed with the primal forces of nature, and he's like, you mess with the corporation, basically. He's like, what does he say? The world is just a series of businesses or something like that. There's no countries, there's no people, there's no groups. It's just a big, huge business, right? Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but we've all seen that one. But one that I found really interesting is when the high-powered, profit-seeking corporate bigwigs start making deals with the black communists in order for them to rile people up in the public, because that's what gets the views.
Distribution.
Dog, fuck with my...
Went on the air March 14th. It received a 47 share. The network promptly committed to 15 shows with an option for 10 more. There were the usual contractual difficulties.
Equal to 20% 2-0, except with such percentages, I'll be 30% 3-0 for 90-minute or longer television programs.
Have we settled that sub-licensing thing?
No.
We want a clear definition here. Gross proceeds should consist of all funds the sub-licensee receives,
not merely the net amount from...
See, they're making a deal with the black communist right now. So the big wigs at one of the major 5 television networks back in the 70s was making a deal with the black communists in order to rile up the public, because people like to watch stuff that gets them angry. And this movie came out in the 70s, right?
Permitted after payment to the sub-licensee or distributor.
We're not sitting still for overhead charges. It's a cost prior to distribution.
Don't fuck with my distribution costs. I'm making a lousy $2.15 per segment. I'm already deficiting 25 grand a week with Metro.
Keep in mind that this woman is supposed to be a black communist. She knows how to negotiate quite well for a black communist.
I'm paying William Morris 10% off the top. And I'm giving this turkey 10 thou per segment, another 5 for this fruitcake. And Helen, don't start no shit with me about a piece again. I'm paying Metro 20% for all foreign and Canadian distribution, and that's after recoupment. The Communist Party's not gonna see a nickel of this goddamn show until we go into syndication.
Oh, come on, Lorraine. The party's in for $7,500 a week production expense.
I'm not giving this pseudo-insurrectionary sectarian a piece of my show. I'm not giving him script approval, and I sure as shit ain't cutting him into my distribution charges. You fucking fascist! Did you see the film we made of the San Marino jail breakout demonstrating the rising up of the Seminole prisoner class infrastructure? You can blow the Seminole prisoner class infrastructure out your ass! I'm not knocking down my goddamn distribution charges!
Man!
She's like, yeah, I ain't losing my distribution. You can keep the revolution. She's like, I ain't losing my distribution, bro.
Give her the fucking overhead clause. Let's get back to page 22. 5, small a, subsidiary rights.
Where are we now? Page 22, middle of the page, subsidiary rights. As used herein, subsidiary rights means, without limitation, any and all rights.
I don't understand the...
Right. So you can see how it's like already in the 70s, they already knew about all this type of stuff.
Spoke to people. One, it was a...
Okay, now, before he went and met with the bigwig guy that, you know, told him he was messing with the forces of nature or whatever, you know, he was doing a certain type of bit where he was doing the I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore thing. And he's like, you guys get up out of your seats and get angry. And then he goes and meets with the guy, and the guy, the bigwig corporate guy, basically like scares the crap out of him and tells him that, no, now you're going to preach my message, and my message is the corporate message. And then you'll see what the corporate message is. And it's very interesting that this was going on already in the 70s.
That evening, Howard Beale went on the air to preach the corporate cosmology of Arthur Jensen.
I got up here and asked you people to stand up and fight for your heritage, and you did, and it was beautiful. 6 million telegrams were received at the White House. The Arab takeover of CCA has been stopped. The people spoke, the people won. It was a radiant eruption of democracy.
So you notice I covered that in a couple of videos like way back, that the Arabs actually do have more possibly even of a stranglehold on media than even Jewish people. And he's talking about this all the way back in the 70s, that the Arabs actually were the ones that were trying to take over the media companies, because that's what they do with the oil money. When, you know, we do the petrodollar thing, and then they come over here and they buy up our industries and our stuff, right?
But I think that was it, fellas. That sort of thing is not likely to happen again. Because at the bottom of all our terrified souls, we know that democracy is a dying giant, a sick, dying, decaying political concept writhing in its final pain. I don't mean that the United States is finished as a world power. The United States is the richest, the most powerful, the most advanced country in the world, light years ahead of any other country. And I don't mean the communists are going to take over the world, because the communists are deader than we are. What is finished is the idea that this great country is dedicated to the freedom and flourishing of every individual in it. It's the individual that's finished. It's the single solitary human being that's finished. It's every single one of you out there that's finished. Because this is no longer a nation of independent individuals. It's a nation of some 200-odd million transistorized, deodorized, whiter than white, steel-belted bodies, totally unnecessary as human beings and as replaceable as piston rods. Well, the time has come to say, is dehumanization such a bad word? Because good or bad, that's what is so. The whole world is becoming humanoid, creatures that look human but aren't. The whole world, not just us, we're just the most advanced country, so we're getting there first. The whole world's people are becoming mass-produced, programmed, numbered, insensate things.
It was a perfectly admissible argument that Howard Beale advanced in the days that followed. It was, however, also a very depressing one. Nobody particularly cared to hear his life was utterly valueless. By the end of the first week in June, the Howard Beale show had dropped 1 point in the ratings, and its trend of shares dipped under 48 for the first time since last November.
So yeah, you can see after he goes and meets with the corporate overlords, he's like basically saying what's going on now. And that's what the guy told him to say. He's like, look, I want you to tell them my story, my corporate
We
overlord
want to
story.
actually master Claude in 28 days.
And then he came back with that.
KTNS Kansas City refuses to carry our network news show anymore unless Beale is taken off the air.
Did you see the overnights on the network news? It has an 8 in New York, a 9 in LA, and a 27 share in both cities. Last night, Howard Beale went on the air and yelled bullshit for 2 minutes, and I can tell you right now that tonight's show will get a 30 share at least. I think we've lucked into something.
Oh, for God's sakes, Diane, are you suggesting we put that lunatic back on the air yelling bullshit?
Yes, I think we should put Beale back on the air tonight and keep him on. Did you see the news this morning? Did you see the Times? We've got press coverage on this you couldn't buy for $1 million. Frank, that dumb show jumped 5 rating points in one night. Tonight's show's got to be at least 15. We just increased our audience by 20 or 30 million people in one night. And you're not going to get something like this dumped in your lap for the rest of your days, and you can't just piss it away. Howard Beale went up there last night and said what every American feels, that he's tired of all the bullshit. He's articulating the popular rage. I want that show, Frank. I can turn that show into the biggest smash on television.
What do you mean you want that show? It's a news show. It's not your department.
I see Howard Beale as a latter-day prophet, a magnificent messianic figure inveighing against the hypocrisies of our times, a strip Savonarola Monday through Friday that I tell you, Frank, could just go through the roof. And I'm talking about a $6 cost per thousand show. I'm talking about $130,000 minutes. Do you want to figure out the revenues of a strip show that sells for $100,000 a minute? One show like that could pull this whole network right out of the hole now, Frank. It's being handed to us on a plate. Let's not blow it.
Yes. Tell him I'll be a few minutes. Let me think it over.
Frank, let's not go to committee on this. It's 20 after 10. We want Beale in that studio by 6:30. We don't want to lose the momentum.
For God's sakes, Diana, we're talking about putting a manifestly irresponsible man on national television.
Like, yeah, exactly.
I like to talk to legal affairs at least. Herb Thackeray and certainly Joe Donnell and standards and practices. And you know I'm going to be eyeball to eyeball with Mr. Rudley on this. If I'm going to the mat with Ruddy, I want to make sure it's on my ground. I'm the one whose ass is going on the line. I'll get back to you, Diane.
So yeah, you can see that the movie is a little bit deeper than just that one little speech that guy gives. You know, I would definitely suggest watching it. It definitely, if you're in media, if you're a content creator or anything like that, it's definite. I would almost say it's a must watch to kind of understanding how the media works, and especially the whole Q scores thing and how important Q scores is to big media conglomerates and stuff like that. So that's the video. Thanks for watching if you did. Have a good day and peace.